everybody, what is up? It's Belinda. Welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you doing? So this video is going to be a voiceover because I want to get into some of the kind of hard news that's going on right now a little bit. We've got Jeffrey Epstein, of course, convicted sex offender who died in prison in 2019. Now, American financer, convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, his number two, Ghislaine Maxwell, is in court. You know, she's been in court and she's now been found guilty of 5 out of 6 counts of conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein to sex traffic young girls, minors, for Epstein and his cohorts such as Bill Clinton, Trump, and of course Prince Andrew to abuse.
Closing arguments are now set for Monday in the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell here in New York. The defense resting its case today, with Maxwell not taking the stand. The longtime associate of Jeffrey Epstein, she has pleaded not guilty to charges, which include sex trafficking of minors and conspiracy. A former employee of Epstein's testifying that she respected Ghislaine Maxwell and never saw anything wrong. Jury deliberations are expected to begin next week.
The best I could tell, she seemed a little bit unsteady as the jury was being dismissed, as she rose to stand, as they were being let out the door. But it was whisper quiet in there. The judge had admonished all the spectators to maintain decorum and that any outbursts would result in being kicked out of the courtroom. So it was whisper quiet in there, aside from what the judge was saying and the jurors were saying. And then it all advanced very quickly after that. Within a few minutes after the verdict was read, Maxwell was being let out a back door of the courtroom by 2 U.S. Marshals, and it was over.
Jim, thank you for that. CK, Bernard, I want to bring you both back in. CK, let's start with you on the question of testifying. We've seen, and the three of us have talked about these other high-profile cases, and right now we're waiting for the verdict in the Theranos trial, Elizabeth Holmes trial. She took the stand for 7 days. Kyle Rittenhouse took the stand. We could go on and on. One of the defendants in the Ahmaud Arbery, the murder case of, murder of Ahmaud Arbery case, took the stand. We hear that defense attorneys, for the most part, go by this rule that if you don't have to, don't put your client on the stand. But we've seen a string of cases recently where defendants did testify. So why do you think Ghislaine Maxwell, with all of her, education and whatever, why do you think she didn't take the stand?
Well, I think actually it was a good move for her not to take the stand. She was so intimately involved in the sexual abuse of these women, and she would have been they would have still been cross-examining her right now if she had taken the stand, because her behavior was so reprehensible. And I think had she taken the stand, the jurors would have hated her even more. They would have blamed her even more, because there's some things that are simply not explainable, not justifiable, inexplicable. For instance, all of those pictures, when they are trying to distance her from Jeff Epstein and say that basically she was snowed or she was conned by him. She's a very sophisticated woman. And had she taken the stand, it would have undercut all of the arguments of the defense. So I think it was a wise move. They convicted her anyway because of the mountain of evidence. But I think had she taken the stand, it would have counted against her. Jurors, sometimes when you, as a defense lawyer, when you roll the dice and have your client take the stand, it's got to be because you think that client's testimony is unimpeachable and going to make a great impression. We just saw in the Kim Potter case. She took the stand, she cried and boo-hooed, and to some, she was probably sympathetic, but the jury saw through it and convicted her on both counts. So I think it's an awful gamble, and I think prosecutors like when defendants take the stand, but I think defense lawyers know that it's a big gamble, and they've got to be right with that gamble because it will make a difference. In the Kyle Rittenhouse case, it made the difference.
Bernard, you agree with that? And what do you think it would have looked like had she taken the stand? Obviously, they chose not to put her on the stand, and this is the outcome. May have had something to do with it, may not have. This was, guilty on 5 of the 6 counts. But had she taken the stand, what would this have looked like?
Oh, it would have looked like a hot mess. People don't like privilege. People do not like arrogance. And a jury's not going to like privilege and arrogance when you're talking about these 4 victims that testified of what their lifestyles were like when they met and they were taken advantage by Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. So no, it would not have benefited her. Also, you got to think that when a defendant testifies, especially a person like Ghislaine Maxwell, the prosecutor has so much information on you that they probably couldn't bring into evidence on their case in chief. However, if Ghislaine Maxwell would have testified, the prosecution may have been able to cross-examine her on things that were not in evidence that could be so damning to Ghislaine Maxwell. What's interesting in this case is that when the judge asked Ghislaine Maxwell and her defense attorneys on whether she was going to testify, Ghislaine Maxwell's attorneys were like, oh, something to the extent that there's no need based on how the prosecution's evidence came in for Ms. Maxwell to testify. So it just goes to show you how the arrogance, not only of Ghislaine Maxwell, but also the defense attorneys, they were out of touch with this jury. They were out of touch with what was going on in the courtroom. And the thing is that you always have to remain objective because you want to be able to see witnesses and evidence the way that the jury is seeing it.
All right, and Jim, one last question for you because you've covered this from the beginning. You know, Jeffrey Epstein went to jail. He died in jail. Now Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted on 5 out of 6 counts, will face, she faces decades in prison. This whole horrid ordeal, is it over now? What happens next? And are there ripple effects because of what has happened?
Well, I think as far as a federal criminal prosecution of anybody else associated with Epstein, I think it's the best of my understanding, it's unlikely. There are certainly other people who have been associated with Epstein and have been accused in some measure of wrongdoing, but there does not appear to be any indications that I'm aware of that, at least in this district, there's a movement to go further than this. Maxwell was described in this indictment essentially as the number 2 in this alleged sex trafficking operation that I guess now isn't alleged anymore now that she's been convicted. This was out of all the years that Jeffrey Epstein has been investigated and his operation has been the subject of 20, 30, 40, 50 lawsuits, this is the first time in the history of this case that any of the evidence has been aired in a court of law. And the result is that Maxwell, the person that the government contended was the second most important person in the operation, is now going to jail. And the first most important person in the operation is dead. So the other point is that as for Maxwell, it's unlikely that this is over. It's very likely that her lawyers will seek an avenue to appeal this conviction. And I think we'll see that fairly quickly.
So it's said that Ghislaine Maxwell could get up to 70 years in jail for conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I don't know about you guys, but as well as Ghislaine Maxwell, I would also like to see other people involved in this sex trafficking operation be held accountable so that the victims can really get justice for what happened to them. I'm talking about Prince Andrew. I'm talking about President Trump. I'm talking about Bill Clinton. All of these people that were involved in Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring, whether they were abusing the girls or whether they were, flying on private jets with these girls, getting a foot massage, as it's rumoured that Prince Andrew did. Prince Andrew, of course, denies all of those claims. But honestly, I think it's clear, we all read the news and we all see what's happened with Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and these women who've come forward about them. Honestly speaking, where we are now, I just think it's time that the people who were also involved in this sex trafficking ring were investigated. Okay, fair enough. Ghislaine Maxwell is going to be sentenced to go to prison. That's fantastic. But at the same time, I think people like Trump, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, all the people who were partaking in this, I think that they all need investigating into too, because at the end of the day, they were involved in these crimes where there have been some 17-year-old girls who've been abused. And at the end of the day, they still committed crimes, so they should definitely be investigated. They should definitely be taken to court. Will they? I don't know, but I would like to see it. I'm going to move on to this situation with Sssniperwolf, a YouTuber who ghosted a terminally ill 10-year-old. This whole situation is disgusting. I've been seeing this unfold on Twitter with Keemstar and all of that stuff. So this is according to Drama Alert website. Sssniperwolf, also known as Leah Shalish, is a well-known YouTube content creator with over 30.6 million subscribers. Throughout her 8 years on YouTube, Leah has cemented herself as an unlikable figure amongst a sizable portion of the YouTube community. So this YouTuber has ghosted a 10-year-old girl who really wanted to video chat with her. Then she's been in contact with the child's mother. Now, to ghost a terminally ill child, you've got to have something seriously wrong with you. Your priorities are messed up. If you receive a message from a fan or their family of a terminally ill child who wants to video chat with you and you ghost them, that's beyond awful. That is beyond disgusting, beyond shameful. And at the time when all of this was going on, Leah was seen out eating cake as if nothing happened. Other YouTubers such as Adam22 from the No Jumper podcast have actually been in contact with this child. You know, they've met her and everything. You know, they've made her dream come true. Now, Keemstar took to Twitter and made videos about this situation. Adam22 from No Jumper actually reached out to Keemstar, who knows Sssniperwolf, to try and make this child's dream come true of getting to video chat with Sssniperwolf, and it didn't happen. Blowing off a dying child to go and eat chocolate cake out at a fancy restaurant. Yep, that is what Sssniperwolf did. Shameful. Sssniperwolf's been in contact with the child's mother, giving all kinds of excuses under the sun for why she couldn't video chat with the child. Oh, the timing wasn't right. She didn't have time. She had family coming to visit, etc., etc. It's just excuse after excuse after excuse. She's saying that family from out of town were coming to visit for Christmas, etc., etc. But you know, we're talking about a dying child here. We're not talking about something that you can really just keep putting off. Keemstar made a drama alert about this whole situation, and now Sssniperwolf has retaliated by saying, after all these years, you're still a piece of shit. I was trying to set up a time to video chat, but there was an issue with the time difference. So we rescheduled, and the mother is trying to expose me now. Here is the chat. So here she's included the screenshot of her chat with the child's mother, saying, let us know if today works. If not, tomorrow is good, but can we maybe set up a specific time? Leah said, hello, I can in like 2 hours. The mother then told Leah that that time would be 11 p.m. their time, so that wouldn't be any good. And then Leah offered to do it the following day. She said she could do it any time, and then the mother replied, yes. So, of course, people all over social media are criticising Leah Sssniperwolf for the fact that she hasn't just spoken to this girl, this young girl who is dying of cancer. She's put her off and put her off. Then eventually the mum of the child blocked Leah Sssniperwolf. And in this receipt here, you can see the mum's conversation with Sssniperwolf, where Sssniperwolf is making excuses about not being able to do the video chat, and the mum saying that the time that Leah Sssniperwolf could apparently chat was too late for them because obviously she's a young girl and she would be asleep. So then the girl's mum has exposed Leah, saying, lol, Sssniperwolf don't have time for a dying girl. Too busy for a girl who is dying. We see you. Sssniperwolf responded by saying, oh, there was no need to be rude. I said I would do it. It's just that I've got family coming to visit, blah, blah, blah. Excuses, excuses. And then the mum turned around to Sssniperwolf and said, no, it's okay. We're good. Then Keemstar took to Twitter yet again and made another video about Sssniperwolf. He went in on her. He called her the fuck out.
Dear Sssniperwolf, I've told the entire community that you're a piece of shit. And you know why I told them you're a piece of shit? Is because I've known you for over a decade. You've always been a self-centered, no accountability, son of a fucking bitch scumbag. And you know what? You proved it. I told everybody, this is who you are, and you proved it. Because you took no accountability for ghosting this fan. Absolutely none. You made a post on YouTube saying, hey, there's miscommunication going on and there's a drama stir going on. I actually tried to get a hold. I tried to get a time slot. We read the text messages, every single message between you and the mom. We read them right on Drama Alert. Everybody, I'm so fucking angry. I'm so fucking angry. I shouldn't be angry. I have been proven right once again. You know how you could prove that you're not a piece of shit? By saying, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I should have got on the phone with that terminally ill 10-year-old fan right away. But you're not. You're blaming the mother. Oh, the mother blocked me. It's the mother's fault. Bro, you made a time on Christmas and then sorry, couldn't make it. Maybe tomorrow. Sorry. You know, even though the kid's going to die at any moment. Sorry, couldn't make it today. Bro, 3 days in a row went on with you ghosting this fucking fan. Not once, anywhere, on social media, on your Twitter, on your YouTube channel, on your Instagram, anywhere, have you said sorry. Not once. It's Keemstar's fault. It's the mom's fault. It's the kid's fault for sleeping. It's everyone's fault but yours. You have done exactly what I knew you would do. You have proven me 1,000% right. When I say to the fucking community that you're a piece of shit, you back it up by every fucking tweet, by every YouTube post, by you just blaming everyone except for yourself because you're a piece of shit.
Since then, Sssniperwolf has also posted this on a story of Deaf Noodle's video on the situation, saying that Keemstar is profiting off of a cancer patient. Now, I don't know if Keemstar is profiting off of a cancer patient or if Keemstar is just calling this chick out because she should have done the right thing in the first place and just given up 5 minutes of her time to video call with this girl who's looked up to her for a long time, just to make her dream come true, because at the end of the day, she's a terminally ill girl. You don't know how long she's got left. And it would have taken Sssniperwolf just 5 fucking minutes to video chat with this girl and make her day, make her dream come true. So I'm going to leave this video right here. I'm going to say take care, stay safe, stay well. Let me know what you guys think about all of this going on with Ghislaine Maxwell and all of that situation. And also the Sssniperwolf Keemstar situation. I love you guys. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.